Hello everyone, welcome back to LaExcellence Bengaluru presents current issue of the day, episode number 171. In today's CID episode, we'll be discussing about a very pressing issue, that is Uttarkashi tragedy or the flash floods. We'll understand the climate change and NDMA warnings, and also what are the reasons behind flash floods and what are the consequences of these. So in syllabus, it comes under GS paper 1 in physical geography, and it is more significant in GS paper 3 in disaster management. Okay. So the news is, the context was the sudden cloud burst or possibly glacial lake outburst or Kir Ganga riverbed or catchment triggered a devastating flash flood and landslide in Dharali village, Uttarkashi, Uttarakhand. Okay, so yesterday itself. Yesterday there was a flash flood which resulted in a whole village getting wiped out because of flash floods. So the image which I used in the introduction or in the first page is it is the same image yesterday. So you can see it is the beginning, in the middle and in the end. So you can see half of the village being wiped out, and there are also videos which are available on the Instagram and YouTube which are very disturbing to see. You can see the power of nature and power of nature against the narrowness of human beings. So the narrow idea of getting best out of, or the getting all out of nature for tourism, etc., we are being crushed out by nature's fury, you can say. Okay, so we will discuss what are the flash floods, and before that we'll understand the news first. Okay, what is the consequences of this particular tragedy? So in the Uttarkashi flash floods, at least 4 confirmed dead, but now the confirmed dead has gone beyond 50, and over 50-60 people are missing, including 8 to 10 Indian Army personnel. Okay, even the army has been impacted here. The disaster destroyed 20 to 25 hotels, homes and shops, infrastructure including Harsil Uttarkashi road and a helipad, which is now isolating this area. Not only the disaster caused destruction due to direct impact, it is also causing disaster with indirect impact. Now there is no highway to reach a particular this Uttarkashi area. So even if you want to do the rescue operations, you have to do within the local community which is present there. Okay, so the rescue operations are being done with Indian Army's IBEX Brigade, ITBP, NDRF, SDRF with over 130 evacuations. And IMD has issued lead alerts for heavy rain in Uttarakhand until August 10. Schools are closed across districts. So experts doubt that a traditional cloud burst point to glacial lake collapse, landslides, heavy rainfall and rugged topography, unplanned construction and climate change as amplifiers. Okay, so maybe the initial cause for this tragedy is flash floods, but however it was aggravated by various factors such as cloud burst, landslide and rugged topography, and also the this one unsolicited or unplanned construction. Okay, next we will see the possible reasons behind this Uttarkashi. I already explained this one. So the first major important reason behind the flash flood was extreme and localized precipitation. Some say it is precipitation, but some say that the precipitation was not enough to cause such a grave tragedy. It might have been also be a result of glacier. So they are arguing that it can be either flash floods or it can be because of glacial lake outburst. Okay, cloud burst, like event, or glacial lake outburst. So rainfall in Uttarkashi didn't meet the formal cloud burst threshold, so leading experts to believe that it might have a hand with glacial collapse as well. Next is mountain terrain and the steep catchments. So because of the steep catchments and the mountain terrain, they try to increase the velocity, and it increase the fast runoff, and landslides and debris accumulation accelerate floods downstream. Okay, so because of the steep hills, the gravity and the movement of all the mass, that is debris, that is the landslide, it aggravated the issue. Then human factors are mainly because of unregulated tourism, construction along the river beds, and deforestation has destabilized the slopes and drainage. Okay, so as I told you, humans' narrow-mindedness to get the best out of environment has resulted in the nature's fury. Next, climate change effects. Warmer atmosphere holds more moisture, and intense precipitation events leads to accelerated glacial melt and increase the lake failure risk. That might have been one of the cause. Okay, so it is the issue of climate change as well. With the climate change, the temperature around a particular area is increasing. When the temperature increases, obviously the snow melt is also going to aggravate. When the snow melt is going to aggravate, it is going to result in breakdown of a glacial lake, which might have been the case here. Now, if this is the current issue, we will discuss the static part of this one, that is what is the glacial lake and what is flash floods. Okay, so flash floods, according to the IMD definition, that is Indian Meteorological Department, it defines flash floods are sudden surges of water occurring within 6 hours of heavy rainfall or dam break or cloud burst or glacial lake outburst, particularly in hilly or urban areas with the poor drainage systems. Okay, according to IMD, flash floods or high magnitude, low duration floods typically triggered by extreme rainfall over a short period of time in a localized area, often exacerbated by topography and land use. So this is one of the examples. So because of the cloud burst, it is resulting in flash floods. Okay, so it can be dam break, heavy rainfall or cloud burst. These are the reasons behind flash floods. The next, causes of flash floods. Okay, we saw the causes with respect to recent Uttarkashi floods. We will also see the general causes behind the flash floods. First is extreme rainfall or the cloud burst, sudden downpour exceeding 100 millimeter per hour in the mountainous terrain. Okay, so cloud burst is when the rainfall reaches 100 millimeter per hour. Okay, it is when it is said to be cloud burst. What is cloud burst? As the name suggests, cloud burst is when the carrying capacity of the cloud reaches the extreme. So suddenly the cloud starts bursting open and the rain will increase, or rain will come at a rate of the 100 millimeter per hour. Okay, so what are the reasons behind cloud burst? There can be various reasons for cloud burst. One is intensive heating. When there is intensive heating and the moisture gets accumulated at the cost like higher pace, and also if there is a presence of topography here. If there is a presence of topography, the air keeps on rising up, When the air and the moisture keeps on rising up, there is no escape for this cloud burst, there is no escape for the cloud. As a result, the cloud will burst open and it results in cloud burst. Okay, this is cloud burst, which will lead to the flash floods in the down terrain regions. Okay, next, glacial lake outburst. Glacial lake outburst floods. So melting glaciers create unstable moraine dammed lakes that can burst. For example, Chamoli disaster in 2021 and the present Dharali disaster might also be a result of cloud burst. Okay, what is the, sorry, not the cloud burst, glacial lake outburst. What happens in glacial lake outburst? If this is a mountain, this will be the glacier. Okay, in this glacier, this is the glacial lake where it is covered by the moraines. This is the moraine. So this will be covered with the water, and whenever there is a changes with respect to rainfall, when there is a large rainpour, when there is a current sudden increase in the rainfall, what happens here is, or maybe earthquake, or maybe the movement in tectonics, or maybe because of landslide or anything else. Whenever there is a landslide, meaning for example, a huge chunk of land falls off and deposits in the lake. What happens here? Obviously, it is going to spill off over the moraine, and it result in the flash floods. So this is glacial lake outburst. So the embankment which is present in the glacier is going to break down. When it breaks down, it will result in the floods. Next, and dam or embankment failure, similar to glacial lake. There will be dam. When the dam embankment fails, it is going to result in flash floods. Next is deforestation and land use change. Urbanization, mining and slope cutting reduces the absorption and stability. So it is simple. You can understand it this way. Okay, so now you understood that there is a rainfall coming down or the glacial lake is bursting out. So now if there are enough trees here, okay, if there are enough trees here on the slope, they will be able to absorb this rainfall. They will be able to absorb this rainfall, or they will be able to absorb this flash flood, and which is going to result in lesser downpour and lesser destruction here. But because we are going for the cutting of trees, we are cutting all the trees here. So because we are cutting all the trees in this area, now there is nothing to hold this rainfall down. There is nothing to hold this flash flood down. So obviously it is going to pour down in a higher frequency and higher intensity, which is going to result in graver deaths and destruction. Okay, next is climate change. So as I explained you, because of climate change the rainfall is also increasing, and because of climate change the temperature is increasing. When the temperature is increasing, obviously it is going to result in melting of the glaciers. When the glacier melts, it will break the embankment and it will result in the flash floods. And next is topography and drainage. Again, especially in the regions where there is a higher steep, okay, steeper slope. When the slope is steeper, it is going to result in aggravated flash floods. For example, in this particular region, that is Uttarakhand, which possesses Himalayas or Garhwal Himalayas, and also in the Western Ghats, who has a steeper slope. Okay, so all these are the causes or the factors which result in flash floods. So some of the famous or infamous examples you can say is Uttarkashi flash flood in the present day. The reason was most likely cloud burst or GLOF, and Chamoli district glacial break and flood, and then Kedarnath tragedy, which was a very iconic or one of the most worst floods which were experienced by in India. So it was also because of cloudburst and dam slit and lake cloudburst in 2010, where there was a 75 millimeter rain in just 30 minutes. It resulted in urban and mountain vulnerability. So these are some of the examples which you can quote in your answers. Next, so what are the consequences of flash floods? Like with any disaster, the consequences are wide range. So here it will result in death of human beings, so death and destruction. In the recent event it was more than 50 are missing, but the current data shows that more than 50 people are not only missing, are also dead. Okay, and then is infrastructure, collapse of roads, bridges and power lines, homes and helipads, which is going to lead to economic loss. Okay, next point is issue with respect to livelihood, that is crop destruction, loss of livestock and tourism hit. And then environmental, which will result in landslides, riverbank erosion and siltation. And then economic reasons are again massive repair and relief cost and long-term losses. Not only the impact of the disaster, but also the cost of repairing the disasters. So that is also very, very significantly high. So these are the consequences. So how do you address this? In order to address the issue of like flash floods, NDMA, that is National Disaster Management Authority, which was established under NDMA Act of 2005, has provided certain guidelines. So the guidelines under NDMA deal with forecasting and early warning system. That is establishment of flash flood guidance system, that is FFGS, in coordination with IMD and CWC. Use of Doppler radars, satellites and real-time rain gauges and automatic weather stations. Okay, and then risk zonation and mapping. Scientific identification of flash flood hotspots using GIS and historical data. Community level flood hazard maps. Okay, this is already being done. And then is about preparedness and capacity building, that is district disaster management committees or plans to include flash flood modules. Training of National Disaster NDRF, National Disaster Rescue Force, and SDRF, local volunteers for rapid response. And structural measures include check dams, embankments, early drainage and flood retention basins, and also focusing on river rejuvenation and nature-based solutions like afforestation. Next is community awareness and warning dissemination, that is color-coded alerts such as yellow, orange or red, and the public engagement via mobile alerts, community radios, sirens and signage in local languages. All these things are being taken up by NDMA so that the flash flood and its implications can be reduced. Okay, apart from this, what should be the way forward, or how do you address the issue? One is integrated early warning system, that is it linking IMD, CWC, NDMA and local panchayats using mobile plus artificial intelligence tools. Example, WhatsApp bots, IVRS alerts. Okay, in this way we can generate more awareness. Next is ecosystem based measures, that is afforestation, slope stabilization and ban on construction near rivers and check dams. Okay, this is more like addressing preparedness. Okay, here we are focusing on prevention rather than cure. Next, climate adaptive planning. Urban master plans must include flash flood resilience zoning. For example, Shimla and Dehradun, these are the areas which are very prone to flash floods. In these areas, there should be climate adaptive planning and there should be zoning of these regions. And then crowdsourced data and local networks. Community flood watchers at drone mapping and local level drills should be conducted. And finally, legal and institutional coordination. Implement river regulation zones similar to coastal regulation zones, tighter monitoring of the tourism and road projects. Okay, so not only addressing the post disaster but also addressing the issues of pre disasters. So it is focusing on preparedness as well as mitigation. Okay, so this is the topic which I want to discuss with you today. There are every chances that there can be easily a question on this in the disaster management, that is GS paper 3. So be prepared and also understand how to draw the diagrams. Okay, so diagrams had extra mark for you so that you can get extra marks in the exam and also get those 2-3 extra marks which will help you in your mains answers and also help you in your selection as well. So if you like the video, then please hit the like button, comment on it and also share with your friends. And if you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe and also click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notification. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.